Hi, everyone, and welcome to S5U. I'm Kate Drake. I'll be your host for today, and we're going to have a fun time today talking about Pinterest, and then later at 11 o'clock, we'll be talking about networking over summer vacation. So kind of a fun, summery, inspired a couple of sessions today. I hope these will be fun for you guys as you get into your summer break and well, for a lot of us, it's not really a break, right? But it's still fun to be in summer. So we're going to be talking about Pinterest first. This is really fun. Pinterest sees a big spike in the summertime because people are Googling, are searching for recipes and things like that for their barbecues or crafts for their kids to do in the backyard to keep them busy, all that kind of stuff. So Pinterest is really great to be involved in for the summer. So let's dive on in. Quick little overview of what we're going to talk about today. We're calling this Pin-spiration. So whether you have Pinterest service through Social 5 or you're doing it on your own, it's a great medium to be involved in. You know, and if it is something you want to do on your own, we totally encourage that. If you want help, we're happy to help you with that too. Just let us know and we can talk to you about a Pinterest package. But the first thing we're going to talk about is power pinners versus problem pinners. There's a big difference between the two, and you want to make sure that you're being a power pinner and not a problem pinner. We're going to talk about repins versus original pins and where that comes in. What I like to call the 5 F's of Pinterest, which are kind of the main categories that just about everything can fall into. Promoted pins. And hang on just one second, guys. We've had a Zoom failure for just a second. So can you guys all still see my screen okay? If you can see the screen all right, will you raise your hand? Okay, awesome. Sorry about that, guys. All right. And promoted pins, some of the new advertising options that are on Pinterest. So, okay, sorry for that, a little hiccup. All right, so first of all, let's talk about power pinners. So I want to bring up this one. This is a brand, LL Bean. We're all probably kind of familiar with, but again, not like the super coolest brand out there, right? But they are doing an amazing job on Pinterest. So this is their Pinterest page. You can see it's the official page of LL Bean, and they have so many fun different boards. And they've really done a great job of showing what their product is about. One thing that's really awesome about them is they have pins in a really wide variety of genres. So they've got, you know, this is just the top 4 boards that you can see. They have signature style, outdoor fun. They've got a whole thing devoted to pets, women's style, lots of, and it goes even further down. They've got way more options for different types of pins that they're pinning. They're also pinning content outside of their industry. Not every single pin relates directly to LL Bean. Maybe this outdoor fun one, you know, you would wear LL Bean clothes while you're outdoors having fun, but you know, it could very well be that no one in that kayaking photo is actually wearing anything from LL Bean. It just is something that kind of goes along nicely with their brand and is something that people that are interested in LL Bean would also be interested in. They've got a really heavy focus on great visuals. They've taken some awesome photos or they're repinning other people's awesome photos, and it makes it really dynamic and really fun and interesting to look at. They've got really fun captions on all of their posts, which is a really important thing to do. They've gone through and on each post, they've written a little blurb about why it relates to their company and how fun it is. And then the other thing is that they know their audience. The Pinterest audience is women in households who make over $100,000 a year who are usually over 25. So it's a really great demographic to be in. It's people who have money to spend, and a lot of times those women are the decision makers in their household who can make those decisions about what their family wears or how they decorate or the food they eat or things like that. So really in touch with their audience and knowledgeable about what's going to appeal to them. Let's talk about a problem pinner. This is Apple, which crazy, right? You would think that Apple would be awesome because they're so good. They're a great marketing company. You know, they have great products. People love Apple products. And they've done really well over the last few years, but they just aren't really doing so great on Pinterest. Look at how boring their board is compared to that of LL Bean's. They've really got a heavy focus on their own products. They've got Apple products, competitor products, their company performance, right? Really, really pretty boring as far as that goes. They've got very few sources as far as their pins go. They're not pulling stuff from all over. It's only from like industry news sites and their own sites. Some of their photos are blurry, they're too small or of low quality. You can see down here, especially on this company performance one, you know, they've just got like some graphics that aren't very interesting. Over here, they've got the same image twice together. You know, just not very compelling as far as visual goes. The other thing is they don't add an original description. So they've taken like their competitor products and posted those on there, and they didn't write anything new about them or about how their products stack up or anything. Same thing with like their industry news or their company performance. They've just taken the news article and posted it with whatever original caption was on it and not tried to relate it back to their company. And basically they're really just kind of out of touch here with the target audience. You know, instead of showing the, you know, beautiful things that an iPhone can do or whatever, or really cool photos that people have taken with their iPhone or anything like that, they've just really made it all just about the product and the technical specs and stuff like that. And that's not really very interesting to that core demographic. So let's talk about repinning versus original pinning. This is a big thing on Pinterest. I thought this was kind of funny. Keep calm and repin this. One of the great things about Pinterest is that you can start a Pinterest page for your business with no original content. If you never posted original content, you'd be fine. Now, if you can work original content in, that's even better. But if you don't, it's okay. Original pins are great, but you definitely need to be repinning from other places. If all you're doing is posting your original content, you're not, you're going to be stuck like Apple is, where you only have stuff about your products and your business. You want to diversify and be more like LL Bean, right? And pull in things from all over that make for really interesting and diverse content. Because the reason you're doing that is that way people who aren't necessarily searching for your product, but maybe you're searching for something else entirely, will hopefully see your pin. So let's talk about when you should pin your own content or stick with repinning something else. So when should you use an original pin? You're going to use an original pin if you have a cool product that fits into a popular Pinterest genre. If the pin links to your website and has compelling content there associated with it, and if you have a high quality photo. So I found this was from one of my favorite places, the Container Store. I don't know if you guys like the Container Store, but it's pretty awesome. So this is just a cool little gadget that is like designed for the ultimate Pinterest demographic, right? It's the mom who needs to make cupcakes and transport them somewhere. And it's just a rectangular hinge lid. They've got a little, you know, blurb about it, how it relates to their business, what it can do, how much it costs. Perfect. This is a great original pin. People would see this and be like, hey, I really need that thing. I'm adding it to my list for Christmas or whatever, you know? So when should you repin something? Here's a picture and a pin from a blog called Six Sisters Stuff. They're actually these six sisters who are actually here from Utah, but they're insanely popular on Pinterest. So this is something where you would pin this if this is a product or service that your business doesn't offer. So say you're a personal trainer or something like that, and you offer, you know, helping people with their workouts, but you don't offer fitness coaching or diet coaching. Right? So, but you could start a Pinterest board with healthy recipes or something like that. Or if you're, you know, just any type of business, you could start pinning any type of food that sounds interesting to you, anything that your business maybe doesn't offer, but that's somehow tangentially related. Again, if it has any sort of relationship to your business, even if it's tangential, that's when you want to repin something and not worry about creating something original. If it comes from a popular site, you know, it's funny, we hear sometimes from our clients, well, I don't want my Facebook page or my Pinterest page to look like everybody else. I want different stuff. But the funny part is there really is a strategy to pinning stuff that is popular, because when you know, there's a reason why those posts are going viral, right? And to have them on your page too makes it seem like you're in the know and that you know what's going on. So stuff that comes from a popular site is always going to do well on your Pinterest page. And then lastly, if it's, you know, repin it if it's something you think your audience would find interesting or helpful. You know, you could be all kinds of different businesses and find pins out there that maybe aren't exactly what you do for your business, but that someone will find interesting and helpful. Remember that demographic that you've got in mind. You know, someone like me who's a working mom is always going to be looking for a 30-minute recipe or something, right? And I don't care what business you're from. I'm going to love you if you have something like that I can pin. Okay, so that's kind of what you want to be thinking of. Is you know, it's okay to repurpose content from someone else. That's the whole joy of Pinterest. It will link back to their original site. You probably do want to double check that you're not repinning something from a competitor of yours, right? But as long as it's a cool pin that comes from something interesting and that your audience will find useful, it's totally fine to reuse that content from someone else. So I want to jump into any questions so far. I'm sorry, I should have asked that as we go. Feel free to hop in the Q&A or in the chat and ask questions as we go along. I want to hop into what I like to call the 5 F's of Pinterest. And these are basically I feel like these are the categories that anything on Pinterest will fit into at least one of these, if not more. So they're food, fashion, fitness, family, and fun. And again, you can kind of see, keep our demographic in mind here, that it's women who have money to spend on, you know, these different options and things like that. So really keep that in mind as we're going through these categories. So let's talk, here's just a few pins I pulled that I thought kind of represented these different areas well, and kind of will give you some ideas of some of the fun stuff that you can do. So let's talk about food first. So this one, spicy kale and quinoa black bean salad. It's vegan, it's gluten-free, it's oil-free, you know, whatever, you know, diet or whatever people might be on, Pinterest is a great resource. So if you have a lot of folks who follow your business who also do a gluten-free thing or something like that, start a board for it. Really popular one right here, 55 quick and healthy 300-calorie lunches. You know, let's brainstorm for just a minute about some of the businesses that could use this. One that I was thinking of today is someone like a recruiting firm, right, who's placing different employees. You could totally do something about quick lunches or, you know, what to eat at your office or something like that. You could have a whole board full of these fun recipes, or, you know, what to make when you get home at night, something along those lines. A lot of popular things on Pinterest are just gorgeous photos. I mean, don't you just want to eat that right now and you want to be wherever they are to eat it? It looks like maybe Italy or something. I don't know. It looks amazing though. And then wedding cake. If you have any remote possible connection to weddings at all, please start a wedding Pinterest board, okay? I've seen people like insurance agents have one and you know, they've got all these pins about weddings, about how when you get married, you need to reevaluate your insurance situation, event planners, obviously, you know, anything like that. Weddings are huge on Pinterest. If you can get in on that in any way, shape, or form, please do. Your pins will do really well. So let's talk about fashion a little bit. You know, here's a Guide to Preppy Style from Stitch Fix. Nail fashion is a big one. There are like 8,000 different posts about different ways to do your nails. Fashion for the home. So, you know, you see back here this wood palette thing that's been a big craze lately. Anything like that. It doesn't just have to be personal fashion. It can be for your home, for your lifestyle and things like that. And then this is also really popular on Pinterest, quotes. A woman with good shoes is never ugly, Coco Chanel, right? Quotes and inspiration and stuff like that always do well on Pinterest. Fitness is another one that's huge on Pinterest. So you're gonna see a ton of pins like this that are, you know, different workout options. Again, more inspirational quotes that make you feel good about working out. Healthy dinners that will make you feel great. again, this falls into both food and fitness, but is really, healthy food is a really popular thing. And then just little things like, well, here's a workout hairstyle that will make you look great while you're at the gym or something like that, right? So many different options as far as these things go. Family is another big one. Like if you have anything related to kids in your business, Pinterest is really great because there are, again, a lot of moms and dads who are looking for things to do with their kids and to keep them occupied, especially over the summer. Here's some crafty stuff. This is actually a knitting pattern that I downloaded on Pinterest for my daughter to make this little cowl. Fun travel tips for your family on Pinterest about, this one's about Disney cruise, just about anywhere that you could ever imagine traveling. Pinterest will have, someone will have posted something about traveling there with your family on Pinterest. And then, you see a ton of stuff like this where this is a save the date card for someone's wedding. Again, weddings are huge. Baby announcement stuff, also really big on here. I can't count how many pink and blue gender reveal cakes you will see in your Pinterest newsfeed and stuff like that. And then lastly is kind of this catch-all category of just fun. And again, some of these tend to overlap in other categories, but it's a lot of people just go on Pinterest for fun. It's an escape, right? It's a way to do something fun. So again, here's list of books to read. Books are huge on Pinterest. If you've got a bunch of bibliophiles at your office and you guys want to start a book board on Pinterest to recommend your favorite reads, that's going to do really well. Travel, huge on Pinterest. I always like this one because my family is partially from Canada and we love Lake Louise. Star Wars party, anything with Star Wars is going to be good. Any fandom type thing that you can imagine is going to be on Pinterest. So, Star Wars, Pokemon, Disney princesses. I mean, you can find a tutorial to make any sort of character cake you could ever imagine on there, okay? And again, fun thing to tie into your business and a fun way to show the fun side of your business. So my friend works for a company that likes to rent out the movie theater when a big movie comes out. So like they just went and saw the new Captain America movie a little while ago with all of the folks at their office. And they did some stuff on their Pinterest board leading up to it and talking about, hey, we're all gonna go see this movie together. We're really excited. Here's some fun Captain America things. Oh, that's hidden behind there. It's a red, white, and blue cake or pie or something. And then again, like things like cat photos, really popular. So, funky recipes, pets, anything like that just is kind of fun. So lastly, I just wanted to touch briefly on this idea of promoted pins. This is Pinterest's version of advertising, and it's kind of new. And you can see this is how it shows up in your newsfeed. So this is a travel board that someone has put together, and this pin right here is a promoted pin. And so you really can't tell the difference between that and some of the other pins. But what you can do is you can choose a pin that you want to promote, and then it links directly back to your website. And you only pay when someone clicks through to your website, and you can track all your clicks. So it works as a pay-per-click campaign, essentially. Now, the drawback here is that it's a new offering, and it's really popular, so there is a waiting list. Pinterest isn't quite ready to handle quite all of those requests yet. So if that's something you're interested in getting in on, I would recommend hopping on the waiting list now so that hopefully, it doesn't seem like it's too long of a waiting list. It was pretty long when they first got started, but it's starting to come down as far as the wait time goes. So you might only have to wait a couple weeks or something. So, but yeah, if that's something you want to get in on, totally join the waiting list and get it going. Again, this is something that we don't offer a promoted pin service here at Social 5. We mostly focus on other types of advertising like LinkedIn or Facebook and things like that. But this is a great option if you're really active on Pinterest and want to get more folks out there. So, all right. Oh, last here, we will ask a couple questions. Sorry, we've got you can see I've got the wrong upcoming webinars there. But any questions before we go? I don't know how many of you are actually using Pinterest already. I hope you are, because it's really fun and a great way to connect with a different audience, right? have like a different audience on LinkedIn, right? That's very business centric and things like that. Pinterest is much more about fun, and it's just a great way to show this other side of your business and how fun and exciting it is. So I'd highly recommend that you get started, even if it's just as a personal page, so that you understand the medium a little bit better. You probably will get sucked in and lose, thousands of hours on there. I know I spend a lot of time on there pinning healthy recipes that I then tell my husband he has to pick up takeout on the way home because I was too busy pinning all those recipes to actually cook anything. So great question here. The fees associated with promoted pins. I am not totally sure what they are. Again, it's based on how many clicks you get. So it's kind of on an individual basis. Pinterest has not really been super forthcoming about that. So it's something that, I think once you get into it, you'd have to figure out how much they want to ask or how much they're asking for each promoted pin. If it's like other mediums, depending on, you can set your own price, like on Google AdWords or on LinkedIn advertising or something like that. You can set how much you're willing to pay for a click, and that will determine where your pin ends up. So that's part of it. Is I think there is a bit of a name your own price kind of thing in there, but then that determines, how popular they make your pin. Really great question here, the demographic of the Pinterest audience. So again, it's heavily female. It's about 85% female. Women 25 and over who make an average household income of over $100,000 or more. A lot of them are working professionals. It's kind of evenly split between working women and like stay-at-home moms. So there's a big, very, very young female dominated there. And again, with money to spend. That's why it's such a dream demographic there. All right, any other questions? All right, well, thanks so much for joining us today, everyone. Again, we're going to be talking about summer vacation networking here in a few minutes at 11 o'clock. So if you want to stick around for that, we'd love to have you. If not, we'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks so much. Bye.